You ask a salesman what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I can sell all the cars on your shelf within a month, and they go about doing so. You could ask a lawyer what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I would make sure the business doesn't get into trouble. You could ask an accountant what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I would ensure that your money is properly tracked and budgeted. Hi everyone, and welcome to 10 Minutes of Design with Chinedu Unfiltered. Here, we will be talking about UX design, product strategy, products people use and how these products make them feel, the latest technologies and how it is used by UX designers and product people. All this from a professional, data-driven and personal view, which is undiluted. I welcome everyone to episode 17 of my podcast, and in today's episode, we'll be asking the question, what is the worth or value of UX design? How do we measure the value of UX design? This episode will be a little bit short, and that is because it is quite self-explanatory. But let's get back to the topic. This is a topic very dear to my heart, and this is because of the experience I have gone through jumping on new and existing projects and trying to explain what value I bring to the entire product development cycle, which sometimes can be hard to explain because the value of designing great experiences are not felt in the short term but rather in the long term, and sometimes in both the short and the long term. So let me explain what I mean. You ask a salesman what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I can sell all the cars on your shelf within a month, and they go about doing so. You could ask a lawyer what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I would make sure the business doesn't get into trouble. You could ask an accountant what value they bring to the business, and they go ahead and say, I would ensure that your money is properly tracked and budgeted. These are great values some skills bring to the business and can be properly tracked in the short term of execution. Building great experiences has its perks for short-term progress and long-term sustainability, and this is all tailored to how well the research was done, the need for the product, and finally the product execution. This time around, I don't think there's a need to define anything. Let us get into the nitty-gritty of what the value of UX design is. Over the years, it has become a very valuable skill to be a designer, and not just any designer, a UX designer. People in the tech space oftentimes say there is a chip in every product designer's shoulder. It's funny, but sometimes it is true. The role of a product designer or the role of a UX designer doesn't really change the status of anything. We are contributors to the great tech ecosystem, and that's exactly what it is. A few years ago, right after the pandemic, we saw a rise in boot camps, specifically trainings for designers. A lot of them are no more, and some of them are still around, but not as loud as they once were. The value has been tremendous to both people and businesses. It has transformed both new and existing businesses, and it has taken quite a lot of people out of their current situations. This is just me speaking in the angle of how the design career has altered a lot of people's lives directly, both those close to me and those that are not close to me. Getting back to the topic, the value of UX design is quite staggering. Like I said earlier, it is mostly measured in the long term and not short term, but sometimes it can also be measured in the short term depending on what is being built. The worth of UX design is multifaceted. At its core, UX design is about creating products and experiences that are not only aesthetically pleasing but also functional, intuitive, and enjoyable to use. But its value goes far beyond just making things look pretty. When we talk about the worth of UX design, we're talking about its impact on the user, on businesses, and on the society as a whole. From a business perspective, investing in UX design can lead to increased customer satisfaction, higher conversation rates, and improved brand loyalty. In other words, it can directly impact the bottom line. Let's touch on the impact on users. Users are the heart of UX design. By creating products that are easy to use, efficient, and enjoyable, UX designers can enhance the lives of users in meaningful ways, whether it's simplifying complex tasks, saving time, or just bringing a smile to someone's face. The impact of UX design on users cannot be overstated. Let's touch on the society. From improving accessibility for people with disabilities to promoting inclusivity and diversity, UX design has the power to shape the world we live in. By designing products and experiences that are accessible to all, UX designers can help create a more equitable and inclusive society. You might ask, okay, How do we then quantify the worth of UX design? Why it's challenging to put a precise number on the value of UX design? There are several metrics and methods we can use to gauge its impact, from user satisfaction surveys and usability testing to analytics and A/B testing. There are many tools at our disposal to measure the effectiveness of our designs. I touched on this in my previous episode. Kindly listen to it to gain more insights. Let's ask the final question. What does the future of UX design look like? The future of UX design is an exciting frontier. Probably we'll touch on this in a later episode. With emerging technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence, the possibilities are endless. But at its core, UX design will always be about understanding the needs and desires of users and creating experiences that delight and inspire. So let's recap. 1. The worth of UX design is enormous. Most times, it doesn't come immediately. Oftentimes, it takes a few years to see the value in the business. Number 2, businesses should understand that UX design will always help it get more from its users, its customers, and clients. Number 3, UX design brings a certain level of satisfaction that would originally not be there if it were missing. I hope this has been helpful and enlightening to you. Kindly tune in to my next episode. Till next time, signing out. Nedu. I am your host as always, Chinedu, and I am glad to have you on board. If you're new, thank you for giving me the opportunity to impart. Do click on the follow button to stay updated when new episodes drop. Share with your friends and colleagues, and most importantly, drop your comments and questions in the comments section and you'd get a response immediately or in the next episode.